Hello. This video is intended to give you a brief history of California, a brief introduction to the background of California, and it'll help you navigate your new home. It sounds like history sometimes is all in the past, but as you will see, our history is very much in our current environment here in California. If you've learned anything about American history, most people learn about the British and Dutch pilgrims who became the colonists who came over from Europe and settled the East Coast, especially in the area that became known as New England. As you can see, these guys, they came over on the Mayflower. This is all part of traditional American history. Then the Declaration of Independence was signed by all these white guys way back when. But the thing that's different about this history is all of this happened way over here on the eastern seaboard. And you are going to be in Santa Barbara, way over on the left where the star is. The history of California is very different than the history of New England. Our history begins with the Chumash more than 13,000 years ago. Here they are showing a traditional boat called a tamal. Another part of California history, the first European presence was when Spain showed up, and Spain was very present in California from 1542 to 1822. Some of the things that Spain introduced to California are Catholicism. Catholicism was a very important part of the reason Spain was traveling around the world, trying to convert people to Catholicism, as well as to find resources, natural resources, and trade goods to enrich the country. But in Santa Barbara, Catholicism shows up as the Santa Barbara Mission. It also shows up in the name of our city. Santa Barbara is Spanish for Saint Barbara. She's one of the ancient saints of Christianity. But we have the Santa Barbara Mission. Throughout California, you'll find that many of the large coastal cities have a mission, which is a large church built by the Spanish. And there's usually also a presidio. The presidio is the military encampment that protects the mission. In Santa Barbara, we have both a presidio close to downtown and a mission a little further up the hill. But these are both remnants of the Spanish period in California. Then Mexico won its independence from Spain, and California became part of Mexico. So it went from being just part of the Chumash unnationalized lands to being part of Spain, and then becoming part of Mexico for a brief period from 1822 to 1848. And California became a state in 1850, and we are currently still a state, part of the United States of America. And on our flag, you can see the California grizzly bear, who is unfortunately now thought to be extinct. In Santa Barbara, we had a major earthquake in 1925. That gave us the opportunity to rebuild a lot of the downtown area in this idea of our romanticized Spanish and Mexican history. This is still celebrated in Santa Barbara. We will have Old Spanish Days, or Fiesta, and that is in the first week of August every year. You will see dancers like these on the steps of the Mission and at the Santa Barbara Courthouse. There will be an excellent parade, and you can watch that with members of OISS. We will be sending out information about that soon. So if you are in Santa Barbara for Summer Session B, please join us to see the Fiesta Parade. So again, Santa Barbara history is influenced by Chumash, Spanish, Mexican, and American cultures. The place names reflect these diverse influences, and this means that pronouncing words can be very complicated. So example, this word. An English pronunciation would be Cabrillo. However, this is pronounced Cabrillo because it is pronounced the way a Spanish word would be pronounced. And it's to honor this guy, who was one of the first explorers of California. You'll also see Calle Real Center. Calle Real is a very common street name in California cities along the coast because Calle Real was the royal road that connected the various presidios and missions for the King of Spain. So Calle Real. The more English pronunciation would be Cali Real or Cali Real, but instead it's Calle Real. And of course, Isla Vista. Isla Vista is Spanish, and so it's pronounced Isla Vista instead of being Isla Vista. And it means island view. Across the Santa Barbara Channel here, you can see those mountains in the distance are actually the Channel Islands. That's Santa Cruz Island. The Channel Islands are beautiful, unique, and protected spaces, mostly undeveloped. They're protected waters all around. It's a marine sanctuary. So here's a little seal. We have a lot of this giant kelp, which provides wonderful space for fish and animals to grow. And the endangered Channel Island fox. They're adorable. I encourage you while you're here at UCSB to try to get out to explore the islands at least once. With that in mind, I want to take this end of this video to just tell you about the Blue Dolphin Book Club. The Island of the Blue Dolphins is a California-based story, but it's a classic in American literature. It's been around for a long time. Most California students have to read it in school. So this is a great opportunity for you to catch up with some of your domestic classmates to learn about this story. This woman was left on an island all alone for over 18 years, and she was eventually brought back to Santa Barbara where she fell ill very quickly and died. So it's a true story, but full of adventure, beautiful language, and writing about the natural world here on the Central Coast. As part of the Blue Dolphin Book Club, we'll be going to the Museum of Natural History. We'll be going to the Santa Barbara Mission, and we'll even take a kayaking trip out to Santa Cruz Island. So Santa Cruz Island has some of the most beautiful sea caves, and to get to the island, you take a boat over, and that's an opportunity for seeing all sorts of wildlife, including whales, dolphins, seals, sea lions, seabirds. It's quite stunning. So I hope you will choose to join us for the Blue Dolphin Book Club. And I hope this has helped you understand how knowing a little bit about our history that is not as influenced by the English and the Dutch as it is by the Spanish, Mexico, and the Chumash Indians can help you understand why Santa Barbara place names can be very tricky to pronounce.